Hey guys, so I wanted to talk about the two things, the two beliefs that I have that I think are responsible for everything in my life working out eventually. And I think if you think about these and sort of accept them as true until they can start to feel true and reveal that they're true through your experience, then things get a lot easier. And both of these things were revelations. They came from a spiritual awakening. This isn't like it is my opinion, I guess. It's not a fact. I can't prove it, but these are the ways that I have operated my life, from spiritual awakening at 23 and spiritual awakening at 39. These are the two things I got from it. The first thing, the spiritual awakening I had when I was 23, was trust in God. I don't know how else to put it. It was a knowing that God is real, and that God is always there, and that there's nothing to fear, essentially. That was what came from that revelation. At that time, I didn't put two and two together the way I did later, about the concept of actually being God. It still felt to me like God was something separate, but it was made clear to me that even in your darkest moment, all is well. God is there. You're never alone. That was what was just unforgettably, indelibly imprinted on me at that time. And that changed, obviously. Knowing that, that changes your experience of everything. There's no way to compare life with that and life without that. So that completely changed everything. Didn't stop me from screwing up or doing a bunch of dumb stuff or having pain or going through bad things. But knowing that it was all good, that it was all essentially for development. It was all being used for that. Really took the edge off a lot of rough times. Just knowing in the back of my mind all the time, or knowing in my gut that while my human self is going through this thing that sucks, it's for a greater good, for sure. No doubt. How bad can you really feel when you know that everything is happening for your own good? Then when I was 39, I had another spiritual awakening, which was basically a moment of revelation that this is all being created by me. And this ties right in with Neville and why I, got very much into Neville Goddard after that. But the revelation, and I think why I, this I think explains a lot of the videos on this channel. It explains a lot of where I'm coming from. What was also pretty obvious in that revelation was that it's not being created at the human level. It's being created at the God level. It's being created at the consciousness level. And part of that revelation was essentially that I am a part of that thing. It's not separate from me. God, the indescribable thing that is God. When we talk about God, I think often it's the God of religion in our mind, like a dude in the sky or some entity. It's everything. It's indescribable, and you're a part of it, and it's all good. And what I got from that was that this is all being created by me, for me. And that to me was essentially the end of pain. It was the end of pain, because how can you be afraid of yourself? How can you, how can you, if you know that it's you creating this for you, then basically being aware of that essentially means you can direct the sails. You can't control the wind, but you can direct the sails. And the things that have been causing you pain have been being caused by a misunderstanding. And that's it. That's it. Everything about pain is a perception flaw, error. So knowing that stuff, knowing those two things, is life-changing. It's all good, and it's all being created by you. Anything that you view as being painful is something that you created for yourself to experience in order to change, in order to see differently, in order to experience differently, in order to wake up to the fact that you're creating this whole thing. You're creating your experience of this whole thing with your mind. Not necessarily at the 3D level, sometimes at the 3D level, but basically just, this is all about you, by you, for you. And if you can start to believe those things, really, it's life-changing. It really changes how you experience everything. Your life could be getting, objectively 3D reality shittier and shittier, and you could still view it as being something that is changing you into something better. The 3D can't hang on long to things that are bad. The 3D can't continue to produce these outer effects for long when your mind is changed. Things just become easier, and even when bad things happen, it's like your worst day after having these new beliefs. Your worst day is still better than your best day from the past, living in fear, not knowing, thinking that you have something, that is going to provide you with security or safety or peace. So, you're elated. It's that all becomes, it all just starts to look like a drug high or a delusion. There's nothing appealing to me when I look back on, some of the highest highs of like my 20s, still living in this illusion that whatever thing was happening in my life was the answer, or that it was going to change things or fix things, from the outside, when all of the changing happens inside. So I don't know if that made any sense. I hope it did. That's it. Have a great day.